Obviously, this is really big news, very important. Rick, how much will this injury change the series?
I think it's massive. And talking to GMs and scouts going into the series, they like Dallas with the question of, is Porzingis going to play? And how much is he going to play? And how effective is he going to be? And he has been more effective and more available and had made more of an impact than anybody expected.
Yeah.
So you take that out. Look, it's only 20-some minutes a game, but his rim protection, they don't have anybody else on that team that can do that. And you've seen Dallas with their matchups offensively. They haven't quite figured out who to put on him that's going to make it work. So it takes a big question mark out of Dallas's planning. I think if he's not able to play the rest of the series, that's going to have a dramatic effect.
And another thing is, like, only on the defensive part you're talking about, but what about the offense, right? Spreading the floor. Having a guy that's that tall, that's that big, that can spread it out. So now when you want to drive and you kick out, you can't help out with that. You got a guy who can shoot a three.
Not only that, but he's the one guy you can throw to at the elbow, at the free throw line, where if you put Derek Lively on him, he's going by him. And if you don't, well, then he's just shooting over him. And he's hit that shot consistently.
You know, another thing is I was thinking about, I love how, like, when the pick and rolls with Luka, right, they get the drop coverage, they throw the alley hoops up. And you haven't seen that.
No.
And I think Porzingis is a big reason why.
Yeah, the alley-oops has been a big part of the game. I mean, to your point, Shady, 16 points per game. He's averaging so far in the finals, 5 rebounds, and he's had 18 points in the first half of Game 1. Obviously came out in Game 1 and disrupted everything. Now, he said he's made it very clear that he is going to try to play through anything. I'm lightening that quote, but if he's not out there, he's truly unable to play.
And Joe Mazzulla said they're not going to let him make the decision. The medical staff is going to make the decision whether he plays or not.
Is that good?
Yeah,
it's good because if you out there and you hobbled, then you ain't really gonna help us. You know what I mean? Like the best thing he's doing right now, they are able to switch everything because he is a big that can slide his feet and stay in front of people and make it hard. If he's not able to move, we might as well get somebody else out there on both sides of the floor. Like, the best thing about him is rim protection, playing some defense, and obviously he's a mismatch on the offensive end. If he's hobbled, then you might as well put Al Horford out there. He's not really helping us. And then not only that, you can mess around and losing for the whole series.
I just hate that when, like, they always like the doctors know more than the player, right? Because the players will play they're going to play no matter what. But that's not always the case. There's sometimes where I was, like, clear medically, right? And there was no pain.
Didn't feel right.
But the mental part of it, like, right, you're hesitant because you don't want to, so you might look like a little slow or you like you're a little hurt, but I'm really clear. I'm really fine, right? But if the doctors see that, oh, he's hurt, take him out. Well, the whole thing is this is my mental part. I'm scared to hurt it again. And you got to fight through that, right, to play again. So I just hate when sometimes, like, the medical field, they get too involved because sometimes with the mental part of the game is, I got to go through this and make sure I'm cool mentally before I even feel anything physically.
But I think the main thing, too, though, with these doctors is it ain't 1-1. You're not down 0-2. You're up 2-0
you got time.
now.
You do got time,
Even if it's like, sit this game, let's get an extra 4-5 days of rest to make sure, you know what I mean? So
the Celtics are plus 25 with Porzingis on the court. And,
25?
Plus 25.
And they're even with the Mavs with him off the court. He's been tremendous, so this would be a huge loss. But to your point, maybe this is just for a game.
You think that lowers his minutes?
I think if you're going to do that, you might as well just let him rest the game. Like, you are, not that you have games to play with in the finals, but you are up 2-0, and he is extremely valuable. You don't want to push it and lose him for the rest of the series if that is the situation. And I'm okay with the doctors making the call. I mean, he said he's going to leave his body on the court. So you have to be serious about whether a player is going to be honest with you or not and protect them from themselves in some cases. And they know what's on the line. It's the NBA Finals. Like, you want to do everything you can to be out there.
Might never get back there.
Right, exactly. Let's move on to the Mavs. They're down 0-2 to the Celtics with Game 3 tomorrow in Dallas. Our own Ric Bucher called out Luka Doncic in his recent article on FoxSports.com, saying Luka was 2 turnovers away from a quadruple double, and he killed the Mavericks' momentum with his turnovers. He was throwing it around a little bit to the team that was not his. Shady, what's the biggest reason that the Mavs are down 0-2?
You think it has something to do with him playing for the Dallas Mavericks and the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? I'm just trying to figure, no, because Texas.
Don't do that.
Texas, then they both blew.
Don't do that.
And then captain of the team. All right, my bad. My fault. Sorry, what was the question? I'm sorry, I distracted. What was the question?
Other than Dak Prescott, what is the reason that the Mavs are down 0-2?
That is nasty work right there.
Oh, right. Just me thinking. It's got to be offense. There's no scoring. They don't have enough scoring. If you look at the Celtics, right, I go down the list, right, even though Tatum is not scoring the numbers he's used to doing, right, even JB, he's not having super crazy stats offensively, but they're scoring enough, right? There's games where Horford had some points. There's games where Porzingis led the team in scoring. There's games where Drew Holiday's led the team. You can't say anything for the Mavericks. The first person we're going to point to is Kyrie Irving because he's not doing his part, which I agree with that. But everybody else, who else is scoring? Right? The one thing about the Celtics is, they play really good defense from 1 to 5, for sure. But they also can score the basketball. And in the game that they didn't play well offensively, they still put up enough points. We look at the Mavericks, it may be Luka's turnovers, it may be Kyrie, whatever it may be, but they are not scoring enough points. And I think to beat the Celtics team, because I feel like they play solid defense in different moments, right? We watched last game, play some solid moments, but the scoring part, now that part is the one that's lacking.
So I think it's the Celtics defense. Because, yes, we are pointing at Kyrie, but it's not that just Kyrie just isn't playing well. They're causing a lot of problems for Kyrie. Kyrie's getting blocked. What is Kyrie great at? He's great at finishing at the rim, even though he is undersized. They're taking that away from him. So it's not that I put this all on Kyrie. Obviously, Kyrie needs to be better, and he's got to get his points if they have any chance of winning this series. But part of the reason why he's not playing that well is because the Celtics defense has been great all around. And it's not just one person. They're all contributing. They're doing great at the rim. They're taking advantage of their turnovers. Dallas is turning the ball over, Celtics are scoring. That is not how you're going to win a game against a really great team like the Celtics. So I think it's really the Celtics defense. But James, why do you think is the biggest reason the Mavs are down 0-2?
There's a couple things for me. Number one is the stars, right? You're not going to win the finals or win a game in the finals if the stars don't show up, right? You talk about Luka turning the ball over. You talk about Kyrie not scoring at a high rate. If those two dudes do not step it up, this series is going to be over very, very fast. That's number one. This team actually scored the ball well last year. Every starter was in double digits. They 7-2 when that happens. They are outnumbered. That is my second point. They are outnumbered. We talked about Jaylen Brown ain't been the star yet. Tatum ain't been the star yet. And they won one game by 20, and one game they dominated from wire to wire. It was just, they're outnumbered. And even with the two stars in Luka and Kyrie, I just don't see them really taking this thing over and just really beating the Celtics 4 out of the next 5 games because they outnumber. The Boston Celtics are too good from top to bottom, including the bench, my man.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Luka, and I'm going to finish with Luka.
Oh.
Because he is the guy that finished 3rd in the MVP voting. If I'm going to ask anybody to be better, and he's been good, but he hasn't been great.
Nope.
12 turnovers, 12 assists. That is how you get everybody else involved. And yes, I agree with you, Joy. I don't want to overlook the fact that I think while Boston was ranked 2nd to Minnesota defensively, they were only ranked 2nd to Minnesota defensively. And matchup-wise, they actually present more problems for Luka because they have guys who can match up, multiple guys who can match up with him. So they're making his job more difficult. But if you're going to get everybody else involved, if you're going to get P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, Derek Jones Jr., all these guys shots and opportunities, Luka's the guy who does that. And to a certain extent, Kyrie is the next guy who does that. Right. What I saw in the first 2 games, and this is usually the reflex with Luka, is that when things start to fall apart, let me go try to get something.
Take over, yeah.
And then Kyrie does the same thing. And while they might get their numbers, they're not getting anybody else their numbers. And I feel like Kyrie, in particular in Boston, kind of went in there with, like, I want to prove something to the Boston fans. Like, this is who I am now. This is who we are now. Yep. And it backfired. And so ultimately, Luka just has to be smarter in his decision-making. He had 1 assist in game 1. 1 assist.
Oh, but they
right?
only had 9 as a team, yeah.
Understood, but it starts with him. No, I mean, they follow his lead. Yep. And then in game 2, he had 8 turnovers. So, yeah, he had 11 dimes. He was better there, but he's making behind-the-back passes that are getting picked up. He's getting double-teamed, and he's trying to fight through the double rather than just pass it on and move. I just think look, it's asking a lot, because this is a great Boston team. But if there's any guy that I think can elevate his game to make everybody better, Luka is the first one that I look at, and he hasn't done that to this point.
And there's a couple of those small things I'm looking at, like free throws, right? They're free throws. I mean, there's nobody guarding.
6 for 13.
Yeah, like that did happen. Like, you guys, in 2 games, you missed 18 free throws. Ooh. right? So it's already hard enough to score against Boston. Yeah. Like, they showing that. They displaying that every time they line up. But making free throws, that should be something easy. Another thing is, let's look at from three. So they average, in the finals, they average 93 points per game, right? In the last 3 rounds, they've averaged 108 points, right? Shooting 37% from three. Now they shoot 25% from three. Yeah. So what y'all do best is y'all shoot the ball good from three. You're not doing that. You're not making free throws. And then the last part was probably the most stressful one is, y'all the underdogs. Play like it. I don't see no extra hustling. I don't see no.
That's a great point.
Drew Holiday, right, is probably the favorite for the MVP right now, right? But why is that? Because his hustle, his dog attitude. I'm getting the scrappy rebounds, right? I'm getting the scrappy steals. I'm playing hard defense. I'm shooting open threes. I'm making that. Then I'm going to the cup, finishing. Loose balls, I'm grabbing them. The Celtics are playing like they're the underdog. And the Mavericks are the underdog. So my thing is, from the offensive standpoint and then the hustle, I need you guys to get that attitude like, we're the underdog. We got to win this game. Yeah. They're not playing like it. No hustle, no attitude, none of that.
Yeah, Jayson Tatum is favored to be the Finals MVP right now.
I'm saying for me, like, right?
If Drew Holiday wins Finals MVP, that will be on level with Tony Parker winning Finals MVP.
How the hell? Well, let's be serious here, though. This is what drives me crazy about the sports. It's always the storylines, right? Now, we watch all the games. Yeah. Nobody on TV, I've been watching, right? Y'all, everybody else, every networks, nobody's saying that Jayson Tatum should be the MVP right now.
He's making a lot of the right plays, though, Shady. Passes, shots. He ain't pressing. He just playing, letting the game come to him.
Oh, he want to be funny. You trolling right now? Okay, he's trolling. He's trolling everybody. He's trolling.
Well, let's get to it. Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla said Jayson Tatum, quote, makes greatness look easy.
He been playing great to y'all?
But Jaylen Brown was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So, Shady, is Jayson Tatum still Boston's best player?
What have I been saying?
No.
No.
Saying no.
I said, if you ask me who's the most talented player on that team, it's Jayson Tatum, right? To score out a nice clip, play solid defense, right? Real creative on offensive side, it'll be him. But if you ask me who's the best player on the team, Jason Kidd said it, right? Yeah. Drew Holiday said it. Shady McCoy been saying it. It's JB. Because if you look at the team, the way they play, it's like, yo, they force everything to go through Tatum, but now it's changing. All them years we've been seeing Tatum in the prime time, lights roll bright, go missing on the milk carton. Did you not see it, Slick? We seen it. This now, if you watch him now, Jaylen Brown plays great defense. He plays the #1 players on each team defense-wise. Last series he was guarding Siakam, right, who's their best player when Halliburton got hurt. Okay, he's playing that. Then he's averaging 30 points on the offensive side. You look at this series, I'm watching guarding Luka from baseline to baseline, plucking him at half court, getting steals, getting blocks. Okay, boom. You get a little pick and roll, cool. Now I got Kyrie Irving. So not only are you playing the best player defensive-wise, and then on offense, you scoring. And then my last point is, when I look at Jayson Tatum, I see his ceiling. Top 10, top 11 player in the league. That's really, really good. All NBA, he's done that. When I look at Jaylen Brown, I don't know his ceiling because every year I watch him, he gets better. Wasn't that great of a dribbler? He's getting better as a dribbler. Still has a lot more room for improvement. As a shooter, wasn't that good of a shooter? He's getting better at shooting. Every time I watch him play, he's getting better. So you ask me who the best player is, I'm going with Jaylen Brown. Easy, too.
Jayson Tatum is the best all-around player. Now, may not be, and you really confused me because you love Jaylen Brown, but then you want to say Jayson Tatum
is the most talented?
Is the most talented. But if you have talent and you can't apply it at the time that it's needed to win the game, what good is that talent?
Don't look at him. Don't look at him, Slick.
He's looking at you.
Don't look. You know why I don't look at him? Because he tells me that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest of all time, the most talented, but he can't win the game. So don't look at him for no help.
So that's the exact same point. For the same reason you're not buying Aaron Rodgers, you shouldn't be singing the praises of Jayson Tatum.
Can we just leave Aaron out of this?
We'll get to Aaron later. But I don't think he is, though. You're saying Jaylen Brown is the better player.
Jaylen Brown's the better player.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you're saying Tatum's the all-around better player.
Yes, right. Because he can look. Jaylen Brown has been around.
Jayson Tatum Boston's best player?
Yes, he's their best all-around player. Now, is he the best at any one thing? Is he their spiritual, emotional leader? Is he their catalyst? I don't know about all that. But if I look at his rebounding, his defense, his scoring, his passing, all of those elements
together,
he does more of those things better than Jaylen Brown.
They got to you too, huh?
No.
He's a voter. They got to him too.
Here's the problem. Jaylen Brown.
Who's affecting the game more, you think? That's a better question. When you watch these two games.
That's a different question. But this is the difficulty with this subject with the Boston Celtics, is that we really want we want Jayson Tatum, because he's the most talented, to be the best player.
That's what they want.
Right? That's what you want. And he's not that way, and they built this team this way because of that. There is no one guy that is winning these games. It is very much a collective effort. Drew Holiday is giving something. Derek White is giving something.
So
Jayson Tatum is giving something.
Now?
Kristaps, what's that?
Tatum.
What's that?
So who's the MVP right now?
Tatum probably by default, but Jaylen Brown's right there.
How is it Tatum, though?
2 games in.
How's that? But seriously, okay. Enough of the jokes.
Because
we're asking right now.
How's it Tatum? Seriously, though. How's he the favorite MVP? How? Tell me how. I'm watching the same game I'm watching.
Because he's had the most impact on the first 2 games. You're just looking at scoring or shooting. I'm looking at 12 assists and 3 turnovers that opened everything up for Drew Holiday, and his continuing to be aggressive into the paint that got everything else going.
What about this question?
That's crazy.
Is it that Jayson Tatum stays the same in the regular season and everyone else elevates?
It's such a great point. That's exactly what it is.
That is a great
Jayson
point.
Tatum is consistent, and he's consistent particularly in the regular season.
Right.
You know that you don't know where you're going to get it, but you know that you're going to get something from him every game. His shooting may be off, but you know he's going to rebound, he's going to move the ball, he's going to do things. Jaylen Brown has been in the league longer than Jayson Tatum. Yes, you can say that he's improving. I'd say he's up and down. Like there's times where he looks like he's moving forward, and then, what happened? The handle has gone backward on me again.
This is crazy, bro.
So I'm just telling you.
This whole playoffs, right? This whole playoffs, Tatum has been playing kind of the same, right? This inconsistent, not really scoring here and there, getting some rebounds here and there.
Averaging 30.
Right. But what type of, see, you told me these numbers.
No, but I'm just saying.
They both have been averaging 30. Last year, they both averaged 30.
Fair.
But whose 30 was more impactful? Hello?
Okay, Jaylen Brown scored a couple more buckets.
No, but it's when you scoring them. It's when you, it's like the first game, right?
Tatum's averaging 24.9 points per game.
Just like the first game of this series, right? Jaylen Brown played the best out of everybody. Played the best, right?
Got the
right.
Eastern Conference.
No. This series, first game, fourth quarter, everybody's out the game. All the stars out the game, right? Who's still in the game? Jayson Tatum. Why is he still in the game? They want to get his points up. The truth.
And because he can run the show.
This is
James.
I think it was a really good. See, I look at the body of work. Is Jaylen Brown, in my humble opinion, having a better this postseason than Tatum? Sure, I can agree on that. But when you ask me best player, I think Slick hit it on the nose, right? Jaylen Brown has been in this league more, and Jayson Tatum has accomplished way more than he has accomplished. And when you talk about talent, he's more talented than Jaylen Brown. So when you ask me who's the best player on the Boston Celtics, it's Tatum strictly because of that. You've been in the league longer, and I've accomplished way more than you, right? I have the ability to defend. I have the ability to score. I have the ability to take over a basketball game. I'm riding with JT. During the playoffs this season, yes, you can say Jaylen Brown is having a better postseason than him, but when you talk about the body of work, Tatum.
What's that mean?
Better player. That mean, is he a dog? Is he not a dog?
There you go. Now all this talent, he can do this, he can do that. He's in the league so much longer. All that stuff. Right? Because I ain't one of them scouts. You know what I'm saying? How high can he jump? I ain't one of them dudes.
All the facts.
No.
Who has the dog out of the two?
I would say Jaylen Brown has more dogs. That ain't got nothing to do with who's the better player.
That matters.
Well, you can put it in there when you in your argument, but
okay. So being a dog,
it does matter.
Okay.
You know, if you want to put it in there on your argument, I say he does have more dogs.
It's the reason why when the game get hot
about the player,
he passing that ball. I don't want it. Does he not do that, Slick? It's hot.
I know,
but why are you? On one hand, you're saying Jayson Tatum is
more
all
talented.
this.
No. Wait, hold up. See, we confuse everybody.
No,
right?
you said he's more talented than Jaylen Brown.
Jayson Tatum is more talented, but always more talented will make you better.
Agreed.
Right. So when I look at Jaylen Brown play, bro, he can do everything. He's playing the top dudes on defense. That matters, correct? Right. And then when his jump shot's off, because JT's really a jump shooter. Let's keep it real. When his jump shot's off, he goes to the hole, gets and ones and all that.
Really...
There's a reason why they asked Jason Kidd, the head coach of the Mavericks,
No,
because he tried. But Shay,
Jaylen Brown. I mean,
just make this make sense.
Drew Holiday said it too. What's he doing?
Just nobody's gonna dog their teammates, but just make this make sense. You've been in the league longer than me, and I've accomplished way more than you have accomplished. How are you sitting here saying you're improving better than me and you're a better basketball player than me?
I think
that.
all around.
You're a stat guy now.
Season,
I ain't no stat guy. I'm watching the game.
I also think that he stays consistent and everyone elevates their game during the postseason, and that starts to make it look like he's maybe disappearing or he's not contributing as much. I think Jaylen Brown has been better in this postseason. I also think that they're more of a team. But I also think that the fact that we debate this so much.
Yeah.
I think that we debate it because we're putting respect on Jaylen Brown's name, that he's a heck of a player, too.
Right, but when you talk about the accomplishment gap, that shouldn't be the case if we're having this argument so earnestly. And we're not the only ones having it.
Well, because I think that's when it comes into postseason now.
Well, then you're talking about what matters more. Obviously, you have to get to the postseason, but...
It also doesn't fit the model of great teams doing what Boston has done. Like, you don't have a question about it. We don't have a question about who the best player on the Dallas Mavericks is, right?
Correct.
Like,
because
there's a lot of talent there.
Kyrie's not outplaying Luka, though, either.
Yes, and everything generally goes through the best player.
Exactly.
That's another one.
Exactly.
So when you talk about another thing about when you talk about being the better player, James, you've been on plenty of teams where they draft a guy high or this is their guy, and they force it on him. If you look at the way that the Celtics, they forcing JC to be the main guy. That's how they're set up, right? But Jaylen Brown is just, he's kind of doing his own things. Like, you can't not notice him. You got to notice what he's doing.
But what I'm saying is if Jaylen Brown got to the league before me and you were like
what is it, a year or two older?
It was a year before.
But I'm just saying, if you like that and then this dude comes in as a rookie and we forcing it on him, how does that make sense? Which means he showed us that he has more if you came in before me.
Here's the other question.
Yeah.
Can Jaylen Brown do everything that Jayson Tatum does? Could you have Jaylen Brown be the driving force of this Boston team?
I think we're starting to see it now, though.
No, you could not, because he is not the playmaker that Jayson
let me ask you, because I'm off this subject. It's really crazy that we're watching the same game, and I don't know how you guys see it differently. Let me ask you this real quick. So when you watch it right now today, though, is Jayson Tatum driving? Is he the one driving the Celtics right now in these last two games?
Yeah, well, certainly game two. Certainly game two and attacking and getting
everybody. So the finals and the playoffs, he's been driving the Celtics?
You asked me about the last game, and then you changed. I give you an answer, and you change the question. Like, what do you...
Because I want the whole playoffs. I'm sorry. The whole playoffs. The whole playoffs.
It has been a moving target. It hasn't always...
I told you Jaylen Brown is having the better playoffs. That's why we're having these conversations.
But what started all of this is that even though Jaylen Brown is having the better playoffs, right? We all agree?
Yeah.
Jayson Tatum is favored to be the MVP, which...
How's that work?
But that's this series only. I'm saying the whole playoffs. You talking the two games in the finals. I'm saying the whole playoffs. That's why Jaylen Brown was Eastern Conference MVP.
But even in these two games, you feel like he's been the best player in these two games. So that's why it's
I'm not joking when I say it. I think Jayson Tatum has made every single right play. He's not forcing it. He's making the right play. And that's why you see it on assists and you see it on scoring. And he's helping out on the defensive end.
He's not having a bad series by any stretch of the imagination. He's not scoring as much as he
We want to see 30.
Does. And that's not, that's not what we're used to seeing from him.
But if I get 12 assists against 3 turnovers and, 18 points?
Wait, hold on.
And I win?
So I
got to have 30 and lose? So
you two are saying that he's been playing the best out of the Celtics, right, for this series?
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs. No. This is
not the playoffs.
It's in the finals.
In this series, I would say overall, Jayson Tatum has had a bigger impact
than
Jaylen Brown in these two games.
It's crazy because when you listen to his interviews, right, he don't sound nothing like y'all. He's talking about I got to play better. I got to score better. I got to make shots.
Who?
JT.
I mean,
and so does Luka Doncic. And I welcome that.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.